I'm Kehinde and I'm half Polish and half Nigerian. Right, so I would say I'm like black mixed race. I just feel like I relate to like the black like culture more and like to like black people more, and like this is gonna sound like weird, but like and this is actually something I've noticed like really recently, but I feel like more like myself and more like relaxed around like black people. I don't know whether that's like a correct thing to say, like, oh god. No, but like I do. People say things or do things and I'll just be like white people, and I'll just be like thinking in my head like, oh my god, like why did you say that? Like why would you do that? And it's like, I don't know, like I feel like when people do stuff like that, like with race especially, because it's such a like important thing to me, like it kind of just makes me like completely unable to relate to them, whereas I feel like, you know, with black people, like you don't really get that so much. It'd be just really strange, I think, to me if like a mixed race person they'd identify themselves as white, but I guess we are half white. I don't know, I feel like it's almost like an instinctive thing, like almost like a natural thing, like from my very core, like I feel more black than white. Like it's even like hard to explain it in words, because it's just like, but it's just like even like the feeling I get, like where like, you know, when if somebody was like to me like, oh, would you identify as white, like my whole like kind of like my whole like thing would be like, no I'm not, like like, you know, the outside world sees us as black. Like we've always been like, so even though we do have like privilege and stuff, like we still face like some of the challenges that like black people face. We all experience like racism and stuff, like we've had things said about like, you know, our skin, like our hair, like, you know, like we've had like comments like monkey made against us, things like that. So like I guess like even things like that, like just like make you identify, like the way you're raised and your upbringing make you identify more with like the black experience than the white experience. I think, like, I don't want to like sound cliche and be like, oh, skin color's beautiful, but like I do think like it's like really like deep, like ebony skin tones are like really beautiful. Like, so I wouldn't say like I feel privileged, like I'm not like, oh, I'm so superior. But like you know, oh my paler skin or something. But like I do know that we are, like, because I do know that like in like on a societal level, like you know, like in a lot of cultures and stuff, like lighter brown skin is like kind of like, you know, like people kind of strive for that. Like that's why you've got like bleaching and stuff in so many countries and things, and like, you know, and why you've got like terms like, oh, lighty, light skin, all of that. So yeah, like I do think like colorism is a real thing, even though I don't personally understand that. I don't even know where that came from, like, to be honest. Like I honestly don't, because like I don't know where that came from. It must be like something to do with like, you know, like with white people and like, you know, like the white ideal and stuff. Like it must just be like a form of that, like amongst black people. This is like a really weird thing like that I've like recently like thought about. Like I'm not sure whether like I'll ever kind of be able to have like a white like husband. Like no, I've been recently thinking about it and I'm just like, because I just feel like this isn't like to be horrible or anything, but I just feel like people who are white just have a completely different understanding of race, like completely different, like to anybody, like not even yeah, like, but like even like to say like a person like, I don't know, of like Asian descent, or like, you know, like it like they're like, I feel like white people just have a completely different understanding of race, and I feel like because that's such a like core part of me, like it's shaped so much of my life. Like I feel like if somebody wasn't able to understand like where I was coming from and stuff, or like, if somebody was on a different page, I just wouldn't be able to get it. I don't, like, I feel like because that's such a fundamental part, I don't know like whether that's like something that can be overcome, like really. And like, yeah, like I've only like thought about that recently, and I'm like yeah, like I'm like, wow, like I don't actually know whether like it'd be possible for me to like have a long-term like partner who's white. I feel like a lot of white people out there like have a very surface understanding of like race, and like they have the understanding to the point of they're not outwardly racist or something, or they're like, you know, do you get what I mean? But it doesn't really get like deeper than that. So I feel like a person who's so kind of like, you know, like who kind of thinks about race in like a deeper way, like a white person thinks about race in a much deeper way, would be so hard to find. And like that's like, for me, like that's like a weird realization, because like I'm not like saying like, oh, like I'm not attracted to like white guys or anything, like I am, but like you know, it's just like a thing that I thought about, like could I actually be with somebody who doesn't really understand like race on the same sort of level, like, you know, who doesn't like, somebody who wouldn't like understand why I talk about race all the time, like, you know, like somebody who like, you know, wouldn't understand why I get upset about like over a certain comment or like something, or like, you know, why I get upset when I see a certain thing, like, you know, like can you actually like spend your life with somebody like that, like if something that's like so like fundamental and so like important to you, like I don't know. I feel like everybody at one point like tries to be more black or tries to be more white, like, you know, like you always like go through a phase of like trying to identify with like one or the other. Yeah, but I would say like for me it was more because like I went to like a largely white school, like it was more like, even though like I'm kind of like, oh, like why was I like that, but like it was more like I kind of like, you know, would like identify with them and stuff, but then they'd make like certain like comments or stuff, or like comments about race or stuff, and then you'd be kind of like, oh, well, I'm not really like you, like, you know, I am different. I didn't get like a full like strong sense of mixed race identity until I went to uni, and then I was like, oh my god, there's actually other mixed race people out there, like we are a group. But before that, like I don't know what, like I don't actually know before that, because I think I just always used to hang out with like white people. I don't think I thought about like my kind of like my black side too much. I don't think I paid it that much attention. If anything, I would say I tried to be more like white, like, you know, like I straighten my hair and stuff and da da da. Do you know what really annoys me? Like the most annoying thing, going off topic, that like white people always try and excuse racism. Like they always try and find an excuse for it. So it was like, oh, you sure he wasn't like drunk or something? You sure he wasn't? And I'm like, what does it matter if he's drunk? Like, it doesn't change the fact that he came up and asked me if I'm from Africa. Like, it doesn't matter. It's ridiculous. Like, do you remember that thing, like, recently, that guy who was, like, that elderly guy who, like, started shouting, like, racist abuse at that Jamaican, like, woman. He was calling her, like, a black bastard or something. And I was just like, that's disgusting, like, da da da. And this girl, like, started saying to me, like, this other girl, she was like, yeah, but I feel like you can definitely tell, like, just from the way he's speaking, that he has, like, mental health issues. Like, you can so tell, la la la. Bear in mind, nothing had been written about this guy having mental health issues. Like, it was just an old racist guy. And I was like, you're just imagining up that, like, this white guy has mental health issues, just trying to make any excuse to make it seem better. Like, it's really, really annoyed me, like, white people trying to excuse, like, other white people's racist behaviour, and it's just like, what are you doing? Like, racism is racism. Like, you know, if somebody says something that's racist, it's racist. Like, there's no excuse for it. Like, it doesn't matter if they were drunk, it doesn't matter if they were, like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's still racist. You don't call it something else, like, you know? That Meghan Markle's so quiet on the issue of race, like, I find it a bit disappointing, because, like, but I guess, like, it's easy to say from somebody who's not, like, you know, who knows nothing about, like, how the royal family or that kind of life works. Like, we don't know what kind of restrictions she has and what she has to say and stuff, la la la. But I feel like if people are gonna hold her up, like, as this kind of, like, you know, like this, you know, example for, like, you know, like, she's, like, kind of paving the way for, like, black people, or, like, you know, she's, like, first black, like, she needs to, like, kind of be doing something to earn that and to show that, but she's not really, is she? Like, I don't know, like, okay, she had, like, a gospel choir at her, like, wedding, but, like, but she's not really, like, you know, like, putting the issue out there, is she? Like, you know, like, she could be, I don't think she's choosing to make her being part of the royal family, like, I don't think she's choosing to like, put her race forward, like, kind of at the front of things. And I think if she isn't choosing to do that herself, if she's not, like, you know, if she's not stepping into that kind of role, then people shouldn't kind of, like, glorify her for doing that.